Hello, beautiful Jeanine. I am honestly so delighted to be talking to you about your Unleash Your Hero experience because last year, this time we jumped on our first call and you were almost not going to jump on that call because you were too shy.
Yeah.
I'm now speaking to somebody that is a podcast host and has done a lot of things. And we were just talking about the things that you're wanting to experience this year. And I had to stop you because it was so intriguing that we need to talk about it here. So before we dive into all the juice, tell me where you were before you started Unleash Your Hero.
Oh my gosh, I was in such a dark place. But I think the best way to put it in, I was like on autopilot. I was stuck on autopilot. I I did exactly what society told me to do. So it was like I was brainwashed. So I like ticked all the boxes, got married, got the job, was like stable, got the house, got the car, had the child, had everything. But I was so unhappy. I was so miserable. And I'm like, how can I have all these things and still be so upset? It's because I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. And I didn't even know myself. I didn't know what I liked, what I enjoyed, because I think uh, what happened was I was such a people pleaser, and like out of like respect of like being from an Indian family, the way I was brought up, it's like you just do yes, no. And like even in your job, you don't question what you do, you just told what to do. And you weren't actually told to question anything, like even in my belief system. So I was like stuck in like literally a box.
And to be
And
fair, I don't even think that that is just from an Indian upbringing. I think that that is
yeah,
society in general, to be fair. I know of people
yeah,
that have come from many different religions and backgrounds and races that have experienced the same thing.
yeah. So yeah, so it's just like you. Okay, but this does come from the Indian society. It's like if you're not a doctor, lawyer,
Yes.
accountant, teacher, then it's like, don't even tell me what you're doing. And it's like, people don't want to know. So my thing is like, I was so scared of judgment and of people telling me like if I did something out of that path, that
Mhm.
it's wrong. So I was just, I didn't even want to try anything.
And what has happened since? Because you have been on an incredible journey over the last few months, and it has honestly been incredible to watch you. So, where are you now? What are you doing? And talk to us about that.
Okay, right now, okay, because I joined Unleash Your Hero, it's the first time I actually invested that amount of money in myself. And to be honest, it was quite scary because, like, me being, especially with my husband, we are like so into money. And like, when I told him I want to invest like 50,000 Rand in myself, he was like, no way. But doing that, best investment ever. And
And I just want to hold there for 2 seconds. You also did do my one-on-one coaching. So that is why the
yes,
investment is what it was.
yeah.
Before people freak out and think that the Anisha Hero investment is 50K. It's not
Oh yeah.
for just Anisha Hero, but you did also join my one-on-one mentorship. So just wanted to put the context in there.
No problem, no problem. And like I didn't even want to sign up for Unleash Your Hero because it was in a group environment. And I was so scared to open my mouth and express myself, express my feelings because of that judgment that I spoke about. But I think as we worked through stuff, and I think my biggest thing was I had so much trauma that I needed to get over. And I didn't realize how much that was weighing me down, even though I thought I dealt with it. I kind of like pushed it under a rug. But it's like, I think like within the first 2 weeks, like it freed up my throat and I could speak and I could share my feelings and actually not be embarrassed of what I had to go through. And now it's like everything is just falling into place. And now I realize that in order for me to be at this point in my life, like, you know, when they say everything doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Yeah.
Like at that time, like I was in victim mentality mode. So I never got that part. And I was like, because I was like so upset, like, you know, during my second year going through that whole traumatic sexual trauma event. And it was hard for me to see my peers go ahead of me and me get left behind. And I always thought, what did I do wrong? I always blamed myself. But today, and it was actually last week in the shower, it came to me. If that didn't happen, and not to say that it should happen to anyone, but I would never have met my husband. I would never have my son. Wow. Because I met him in my third year, and then that wouldn't have happened if I didn't repeat the second year.
Amazing.
So I was like, everything, like the universe, everything just falls into place. But sometimes we just have to like let go of control, which was so hard for me. Still working on it.
So what I do want to talk to you about, there's so many things I want to talk to you about, is I really want to talk about religion with you specifically, because we have a lot of clients that are on the fence that, you know, obviously I talk about things in a very spiritual context, and you are somebody that is religious, you are of a Christian faith, and you have done the program. And what was it like doing the program with a Christian faith? Because we haven't taken that away from you at all, right?
No, you haven't. You made it stronger, actually.
I was going to say, hopefully we've made it stronger. So just talk about that experience, because I think a lot of people are worried about joining a program if they are steeped in their faith, which I celebrate. What was it like for you?
Well, at first I was scared, because like even when you sent us a gift box with the pendulum, I was like, I am not using that. And I like chucked it away. And then like when you did that whole session with us, I was like, okay, and look, it's always with me. I use it all the time. I have more than one. And
I was about to say, that's not the same one I gave you.
Oh, and my son sees me with them, so now he talks to them as well. So I'm like, that is so cute. But it actually made me see that there's so much more out there. And like, I respect other religions more now, and not to say I didn't before, and then it made me feel like I shouldn't be scared to even question like my belief, because I had so many questions. Why do we have to do things this way? But why? Why is it that like, the one thing I hate about what they say is like, you know, non-believers go to hell and it's only people that, you know, are Christian go to hell. I do not believe in that. Yet I am a Christian. I believe that we are all souls and we all make choices. So, and I believe all good souls go to a good place, to wherever you believe. But now it's like, I just feel like I'm so in tune to everything. Like I have my spirit guides as well. Love them to bits. And my husband thinks it's so funny because I have a name for them. I call them the pink pixies. And they live in the enchanted forest. And you know what? To be honest, I was very skeptical at first when you did the whole woo-woo stuff. But then once I think I opened myself to it, I was like, oh my word. There is so much that I wasn't aware of. And now it's like I get to read so much about everything. And now, like, even human design, like when you first told us about human design, no, I wasn't interested at all, because I was like, this goes against everything that I believe in. But now everything just works together. And I'm just so happy.
Oh, amazing. And thank you for sharing that, because I know that is a lot of people's concern. Like, will this alter and change my faith and religion? And what I kind of try and always say to people is that the program, yes, it does have spiritual elements in it, because I talk about the universe, but the universe is just a term for either God, source, whoever it is that you believe in. So
yeah. And even when you went to your past lives, like that was like, but now I'm like at peace with it. And I think what's so like, even when I got married, I married someone who's not a Christian, and he actually doesn't have a faith, but he has like a spiritual following, a satsangi. So when I got married to, people were like, you didn't get married to a Christian? Like that was like so hard to believe for a lot of people in my family. And at first I felt guilty about it, or I felt like I did the wrong thing. But then like even after junior course, I was like, oh, no, like I love my husband. That's why I married him. And there was a reason, like he is my soulmate. God brought us together. So yeah.
That is beautiful. So we were having the juiciest conversation about what you were doing this year.
Oh, yes, this year.
Yeah. And I want to know more about that. So I haven't heard everything yet because we actually haven't caught up in a little bit of time. And the last that I spoke to you specifically, you were on an entrepreneurial journey. You had left the architecture industry. You are one of the clients that came into Anisha Hero, discovered that interior architecture was maybe not necessarily for you anymore. You quit your job. Was it during Anisha Hero or just after?
No, it was during. I did it in the second round. The second round, I did it in, I think October was my last month. Yeah. So
what are you doing now? Where is this journey taking you? And talk to me about everything.
Well, first of all, October, okay, ended. And then November, like the first week, I'm at home. I get a call for a freelancing job, like out of the blue. And then I did that. And then that means I had a source of income for December, like money I didn't plan on. I was like, and one of the things I originally planned to quit in December because it made financial sense. But like my intuition spoke to me and told me, no, you need to do it earlier. And then everything like just fell into place, even though like my husband didn't understand, my family didn't understand why I'm doing it. And when I told them like what I wanted to do, they just looked at me like, you're crazy. What?
I got that look too.
Like, but you're not a financial advisor. You didn't study finance. How can you teach other people like that? That's the first thing I got from my family. But it felt good to me. And then January came. Okay, December, January. I got a SARS refund. I never get a SARS refund ever. I normally owe SARS money, Kylie. Like, and then that came in, and I was like, okay, the universe is talking to me. Tell me, like now I know money comes from source. Like, and I believe that. Like, I have like such a huge like thing for this year. Like, I know it's gonna happen. Like in me, I don't know how yet, but it's gonna happen. And I'm like, and even when I told my husband, and my husband's like, "You crazy?" But I'm like, "No, I believe. I have faith." And we're actually even relocating this year. So it is. And the thing is, even that's so funny. It's so funny because like with the whole COVID pandemic, now my husband still works from home. But then this year they were told they needed to go in 8 times a month. And they were like, how are we going to make that happen if we move? And then he was just told last week, it's actually 8 times a year, not 8 times a month. But like, because when he told me, I was like, no, my God told me everything's going to be fine. You just chill. It's going to be fine. And yeah, that happened. And next week, Wednesday is the 9th of Feb. I'm doing that photo shoot.
Beautiful.
With that red dress. It actually arrived yesterday. And I know. And I'm like, this year I told myself, I am treating myself like the queen that I am. And in order for other people to treat me like a queen, I need to start doing it myself. But the one thing that like I have a burning desire is like, I want to help people. So this year, it's like I told myself, I love gifting. I love giving back. And I know eventually it'll be like bigger things, but right now I'm starting small. So and it's so amazing. Like I started just buying bottles of water and putting it in the fridge for the delivery guys that come. And you won't believe how grateful they are when they get a bottle of water or like a pack of peanuts or something. They say, oh, you made my day, or I really needed something to drink. And I'm like, oh my word, it just makes the heart glow from the inside out. And I've been recording a lot of podcasts. I haven't released them yet. You'll get to hear them. But one of it was about investing in Unleash Your Hero. And with the whole photo shoot, normally I do my family photo shoot in March. But my guys were like, no, you need to do it on the 9th of Feb. I'm like, why? I went and checked when we did our clarity call last year. It was on the 9th of Feb. It was the day that I made the decision to invest in myself.
I'm a little bit speechless, actually, and tearing up here. That is incredible, because so much has happened for you since you invested in yourself.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not scared anymore. I'm not even scared to tell. Like during the traumatic event, I ended up getting keloids because like my skin was like trying to protect me from my traumatic events. And then I've been to the dermatologist. They said they can't cut it out, but they can give it a cortisone shot. But doing the inner work, they're actually going away. This one used to be as big as that one. And I used to have ones here. They are disappearing. Like, so not only is Unleash Your Hero something that's like just inside, hey, it's exterior as well.
That is the power of doing the inner healing. And you said it so beautifully. So for those that might be new to like the meta medicine concept, or just like the inner healing concept in general, your body has beautiful ways of protecting yourself. And if it feels unsafe, it's going to manifest as dis-ease or illness. And to see how you're healing that, it's just, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I do like my whole own version of Ho'oponopono. I just did one yesterday. It's like, I think I try to do one like every month where I just like write down everything that I have to let go for the month and just watch it burn in flames. And it feels so good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. And I'm like, my husband watches me doing it. I'm like, you must try it and see. And yeah, so there's that. And when I did my podcast, I came up with this analogy for Unleash Your Hero, for the whole transformation. I have to share it. So before Unleash Your Hero, I was like a coal.
Mm-hmm.
And going through Unleash Your Hero and like, so that provided like the heat and pressure to actually turn me into a diamond. So now I'm like this rough diamond. But every time I work on myself, give myself self-love, and then I am forming this diamond into like perfect cut, perfect clarity, perfect color. So this is ongoing. Like, I'm not saying like I'm like this all the time. I do have my days that I cry and the shadows come out.
Yep.
But I have the tools. But now what I learned to do is like feel it. It's okay. Feel your feelings. Get through it. And yeah.
That is amazing. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's come out in so many of these testimonials that we've been recording, is that firstly, it's not a magic fix. You have to put in the work. And even if you do Unleash Your Hero, it's a 4-month container now. Afterwards, it's not going to mean that every day is going to be perfect afterwards, and that there's not going to be any more challenges and your life is just going to be one happy bubble. That is impossible. And that is a dream that I wish I could sell to people, but I'm glad that I don't sell that to people, because you need challenges to grow, to become a bigger energetic container. But what Unleash Your Hero does do is give you the tools to overcome the days when you do have the meltdowns, when you do have the cries, when you do experience the challenges.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I didn't even realize like how much of growth I needed, like personally, like just to expand. And it's like Now it's just like I read more, I listen to more podcasts and stuff that I've never heard about. But it's like now I'm just open. I'm open to all of this just to come to me. And
beautiful.
I just can't wait. I can't wait for more to happen.
Next? Yeah, me neither. So just to wrap up, is there any last sort of words of wisdom or comments you'd make to anybody that might be considering doing Unleash Your Hero, or just anything from your experience that you'd like to give the listeners today?
Oh, please, 100%. Like, say yes. Best investment you can make in yourself, because you find out so much about yourself. You grow so much, and like I know for a lot of people, they'll look at the price point, but you know what? It comes back to you tenfold. Like in ways, it may not even be physical money. It can be gifts. It can be discounts. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. Like I don't regret spending that money. Like I'd actually do it again. And yeah.
That's amazing. Jeanine, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time today. I am so looking forward to seeing those photos from next week. And please just even pop one in the manifestation community, because I'm sure this will go to the manifestation community. And I know that people will celebrate you and just honor all of the work that you've done on yourself, which is amazing.
Wow. I just want to say thank you, Kylie, for bringing this to us. Because it's like, if it wasn't for you, like shining your light, your brightness into the world, like we would never be able to go through this journey. I would not be here. So thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. I'm wishing you such a beautiful rest of your week, and we will chat very soon.
Yes, we will.